Welcome back to Tarot by the Bay. I'm David. Okay, earlier this week, or late last week, I guess as the case may be, I posted up on the community page to throw out your questions. The ones that get the most thumbs up get the priority reads. This is kind of a combination read of two highly voted up, thumbed up questions. One, would this level of enthusiasm on the Democrat side turn into 2008 levels? So to give us a 60-seat majority in the Senate and a supermajority in the House. Followed also by what kind... No, I'm sorry, that's not it. It was basically, will the Harris-Walz ticket have significant positive coattails for down-ballot races, especially the Senate and state legislatures? Okay, so you've got the Senate, the House, and the state legislatures. State legislatures are obviously very important as they set state laws. Like if you want, I don't know, women's reproductive rights in your state, having the state legislatures help along is a great benefit. And if it's the every decade when we do a census, if you have the control of the state legislature, you can redistrict and set up district lines and things along those lines. Try and undo some gerrymandering. If there's a lot of enthusiasm like we had seen with Obama, and you have a huge Senate majority, like 60 plus in the Senate and a majority in the House, then yeah, you can get legislation done and the Republicans can't block it. Just from my intellectual point of view, I don't think we are going to get a 60-seat majority in the Senate, simply because think of what we were going through at the time Obama was running. The economy had crashed. We were threats of a depression. We had been in these unpopular wars in the Middle East. So, the Republicans had everything going wrong with them. And then John McCain, nothing on McCain, he picked Sarah Palin, who didn't exactly really rock people's world compared to Obama's choice of Joe Biden. So, just people wanted a change and they were willing to give Obama a shot, and he gave them hope, and that helped. With Kamala Harris, she's offering joy, and that might be enough, but we'll see. Okay? Don't be surprised if we don't get it, but it will be amazing if we do. So, for entertainment purposes only, let's look at the enthusiasm on the Democrat side for this upcoming election, and then we'll look at the Senate and the House. Okay? Come on down. Okay, deck is upside down. Foundation of the reading is justice. We're looking at the enthusiasm around the Democrats. Justice. Kamala Harris is, as some intuitives have referred to her, I'm looking at you, Susan Lynn. She's going to be the president of law and order. She comes across, as very stern, very fair, and tough. And she's, if you were to say, she's soft on crime, that wasn't going to resonate with it. And people, honestly, in this election, people want justice, but they also, they're tired of the drama. There's a lot of enthusiasm. Kamala Harris doesn't other people. She doesn't, keep making the party smaller and smaller. She comes across as somebody who is going to take care of people. There's a lot of popularity behind her. She's just a woman who's very accomplished, very intelligent, and, doesn't back down from a fight. Trump can't come up with a nickname for her. The Republican MAGA folks are trying to say she slept her way to the top or come up with vulgar plays on the name Kamala, and none of it works. She's just Teflon to them. And it's giving a lot of hope to the Democratic Party. They think they've got their candidate. In the past, you got the Two of Wands. She was part of the ticket with Biden. She's been there, but it's just the energy difference between being Biden's vice president and now putting her out in the forefront has been remarkable. I think we could all agree with that. Even if you're a Republican watching this, you probably would agree that the energy and the support around her has been astonishingly unexpected. And from the Democrat point of view, it's an amazing thing to have. We have the Knight of Cups, Knight of Coins underneath, and we have the Ten of Coins overhead. Current situation with the Ten of Coins, all sorts of support from all walks of life, from the wealthy to the poor, from the old to the young, and everything in between. So much support. Now, part of this thought was, is there going to be a cascading effect from the president all the way down the ticket? This card says yes, absolutely there will be. Because you've got people out there motivated to vote for a Democratic president, and they're so frustrated with the Republicans and taking away women's rights and all the awful things they want to do, they're going to vote blue right down the ticket. There's your big blue sash right in the center there. Look at that. We got the 8, the 9, and the 10 of coins. Overarching energy is the 8 of coins. Kamala Harris is working. And she's not stopped working. Trump's taking a 2-week break. He is not planning on emerging until after the Democratic National Convention. So during these next 2 weeks, it's going to be more media coverage of Kamala Harris and all the things that she and Tim Walz are doing, are planning on doing, and the value that they're bringing to the citizens of the United States. All this work is going to help up and down the ballot. Expect her to go, she'll go to battleground states, and she's also going to stump for the candidates there. Those candidates are going to get a boost. And you need those candidates to get a boost because you need them in the House and in the Senate. The lesson to be learned is the Knight of Pentacles. Whatever it is, she's got it, she's bringing it, and she's sharing it. She's not, this isn't the Kamala Harris show with a supporting cast of members that we don't talk about. It's the whole ticket. And Kamala Harris gets it. She understands that. Outcome is the World card. She's going to bring this baby home. She has done her part to complete the circle of Democratic control in the White House, the Senate, and the House of Representatives. For those not in the United States, Congress equals the Senate and the House of Representatives. Those two houses, the Senate and the House of Representatives, make up Congress as a plural noun. I think she gets all of them, but remember, we have to go out and vote. As a reminder, you can have all the tarot readers and channelers and intuitives and such tell you that everything's going to be okay in this election, but if you sit on your laurels and you don't actually go out and vote, well, then we have a problem. So democracy is a team sport and it's a participation sport. Looking at some numbers, sharing some news with you, Kamala Harris is now leading Donald Trump in Dade County in Miami, Florida. Trump was leading Biden in Dade County by double-digit points, and now Kamala Harris is ahead of Trump by 20 points or so, like 51 to 40. That math doesn't work out right. I'm sorry. It's more like 53 to 40 or something like that. No, I'm sorry, it's not 20 points. It's like 10 to 15 points. She's up on him. Is that enough to win Florida? Not by itself. But what was interesting was that was polling of likely voters. There's only like 1,000 likely voters, but it's likely voters. And likely voters means people that have voted in past elections, in one of the past 2 or 3 elections, or I don't know how they criteria it, but it basically is not just anybody they call and randomly picks up, but they call randomly picks up when they ask the question, have you voted recently? And they said yes, they count as likely voters. And she's polling high with women and with Hispanics and with my blacks and minority groups. Cubans are still polling for Donald Trump. It would be interesting to see if she could crack into that little that group there. But that's good news. It doesn't put Florida into play yet, but we're only in August. We've got the rest of August, all of September, and all of October. And momentum is with Kamala Harris. So can you imagine pulling Florida? You win Florida, you've slammed the door pretty much on this election. That's the equivalent of 3 to 4 battleground states right there. Okay. For context, in this article I read, Hillary Clinton beat Donald Trump by like 30 percentage points in Dade County, like 300,000 votes, but that wasn't enough to give her Florida. So, take it with a grain of salt, but it's a good start. We're moving in the right direction. All right, so will we have a 60-seat majority in the House, and I'll say or a supermajority, a 60-seat majority in the Senate, or a supermajority in the House? For Carter on that one. 5 of coins, I would say that's going to be a no. I don't think you're going to get either one. Not by those majorities. Page of Wands. But we're making progress there. Yeah, it'd be really nice. What a wonderful gift that would be to Kamala Harris if we could have supermajorities in Congress. But that's not going to happen. We're not going to get there. However, you're going to see the House flip to the Democrats, and the Senate is going to stay with the Democrats here. There's a lot of messaging. It's a brave new path forward here. It would be unreasonable to expect that you would have a supermajority like that. For now, give this administration 4 years of kindness and bringing people hope and helping people out, and you might get it. But they're going to have to do the legislative heavy lifting in order to get to that point. Don't expect that they will, but I do expect that they will have the majorities, which will give them the ability to move Congress forward with legislation. They will have the Democrats will have to do something about the filibuster. The filibuster is it's not even a rule. It's kind of an agreement that the Senate's had where before you could block legislation and it would take 60 votes to unblock it from this filibuster. And it's hard to get. There's only 100 people in the Senate, so it's hard to get 10 members of the opposite party or so, or members of the opposite party to cross the party lines to bust a filibuster. But if you lower it to 53 or 55, now you got a chance. All right. Will there be a cascading effect? The blue wave, as it were. Tell me about the blue wave of 2024. Come November 2024, describe what would be known as the blue wave. People voting Democrat right down the ticket. We've got the 8 of Cups, the walking away, the emotionally walking away. I'm struck by the fact that this person is wearing a giant red coat and it's surrounded by blue water. Mysteries revealed. Let's see. Not getting, either concerning the new offers or maybe not getting the offers that you want. Ace of Cups, strong emotions. Now, again, you've got all these cup cards here with water and water. Will it help up and down the ticket? Yeah, but I think it may not be, again, the big wave that we would like, but it might be a big enough wave to get us what we need. Like, let's say 4 people in the Senate. We have a majority of 4 people in the Senate, whereas before it was tied. Would this be like an 8-person majority in the House? God, I would like to think that it's going to be more than that. It could be also it could also be you have Republicans leaving the House. Remember, with the January 6 hearings, there's a bunch of unindicted co-conspirators waiting to go. There's a lot of passion in this election. We have a choice that we can make. You can keep doing things the same way, or you can choose something different. Do you want the same thing, or do you want to walk away? In the past, you got the Hermit card. It's kind of like in previous elections, things play out the way they played out. Interesting, in 2022, they didn't. There was this expected red wave, and it didn't happen. Polling is off. People are looking for a path forward here. Current situation, the Four of Wands. Will there be a blue wave? Or describe the blue wave to me. We're going to have a bunch of new people in Congress coming in. Both Republicans and Democrats. This Congress might actually get along a little bit better. That seems hard to believe, but I don't think it'll be this Congress. It's got to be, a Congress a couple of elections from now, because you got to get rid of the Trump MAGA movement out of there. Sneaking and stealing. There's still going to be cheating. I think we would have better results, but there's going to be voter suppression. There's still gerrymandering. There's still voter suppression tactics going on that's preventing this from being a bigger wave than it would be. Lesson to be learned is the Magician, manifesting. If people go out and vote in numbers too big to rig and too real to steal, to steal Glenn Kirshner's line, we can overcome the interference. Again, the wave won't be as big as it could be, but if you've got enough people, you can start passing legislation to block the cheating that's going on. Outcome is the Eight of Coins, the working, getting back to work. I do believe that this will bring go down the coattails of that Kamala Harris will bring out folks to vote up and down the ticket. It's going to allow Congress to start working again. We will manage to, if we get out and vote, got to get out and vote. If you do that, we will get things moving again. But there's going to be resistance because the dirty tricksters in this world are still going to be out there doing dirty tricks. Oh, one last thing I want to throw out there. As I looked at this card, the other thing that could help with the blue wave are people who would normally vote red, when they get in that voting booth, decide they're not going to vote red. That will help undo the cheating, because the cheating assumes that everybody on your team supporting your team and everybody on the other team supporting their team. And how do you change the numbers so that your team wins? What you don't count on is if people on your own team, women, minorities, young people, etc., start voting for the opposite party. That's not taken into account. So, yeah, and it's like, well, of course I voted for Trump, duh. Over my dead body, I did. Yeah. Trump's not an option. They don't want to do Trump again. They're tired of Trump. They now know who this guy is, and they're ready to welcome in something different. A wedding is about happiness and joy. You're celebrating two people coming together in holy matrimony. And, you're celebrating this new union and the hope and the promise that this union has. That's telling me that's a Harris Walz ticket being put in there. There is a lot of enthusiasm for it, and you're seeing it everywhere. So, what's the energy? I think, and will we get the House and the Senate? I think we will get Congress and the presidency, but you need to vote. Will it go from the top of the ticket all the way down? Yes, it will. And I think a lot of it's going to do with Republican voters who don't vote for Republicans. That's going to overcome the dirty tricks and the purging people from the voter rolls and that sort of thing that normally are done to depress votes of groups of people that would not support your party. In the Republicans' case, they want to get rid of votes of black voters. They want to make it difficult for young people to vote because historically they support Democratic causes, or they support programs that currently the Democrats also support. They're not coming out like, oh, I want to be a Democrat. It's been my lifelong goal. No, they want to look at which they're looking at programs that are going to make their life easier. Which of these two political parties is going to get me there? And the Democrats are much more likely to get you there than the Republican Party. So I think people might start voting their self-interest. Don't take, to lesson learned, stop taking away women's rights. Yeah. Old white men. Who needs them? I'll talk to Michelle about that. Anyways, thank you very much for watching this video and supporting my channel. I hope you found this reading insightful, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.